first and move from there. I gotta have a calculator really quick. Just a second. Don't start recording.
I worked on my DI in 2 days.
I haven't worked on it since the last tournament, and I worked for them.
I broke Andy's calculator last night.
What?
Where's Morgan?
I don't know, but I saw her seat, so I could record. There they are.
Okay, here we go.
Where's Morgan?
Listen, here's the first question. The sum of the measures of a polygon is 2160. So this is the exact same type. Okay, it's just that I'm giving you different numbers, right? So the sum of the interior angles is 2160. Why am I repeating that? Because it changes the formula, right? Depending on whether it's interior or exterior. So that's the sum of the interior angles of a polygon. Tell me how many sides are in the polygon. Tell me how many sides are in the polygon. 2160 is the sum of the angles. How many sides are in the polygon? How do I set up the equation? You want to look in your notes and find the formula for the sum of the interior angles. What is the formula?
180 times n minus 2 divided by n. Divided by, yeah, divided by n.
I think it's just 180 times n minus 2. Yeah. Now if I want each individual angle, I will divide by what?
Oh.
N. So you're not wrong, but we're saying we just want to know one angle. If I wanted to say, hey, if I had only been given one angle, then I'd have to, or if I'd given the sum, I could divide this by n. But do I know n? I don't know n, so I can't really divide this by n at this point. So I just want to write it like this. This is the equation you want to use. Got it? If it says what?
Interior.
That's key. Okay? If it's interior, this is what you want to write. Okay, now what do I do? Here's where a lot of kids make a mistake. They want to just distribute the 180. Don't do that. It makes it harder. Okay? Just divide what? Divide by 180. It'll make it easier. Yeah, she's got the phone set up. It's okay. I think it's okay. Yeah, we're good. So we're dividing by 180. What'd you get? 2160 divided by 180.
12.
12. A lot of kids are going to put 12 as the answer, by the way. They're wrong. They got to add what?
Add 2.
Yeah, a lot of kids think they should subtract 2 because it was n minus 2 over here. But you're really adding 2 to get the n by its what?
Sit in my seat.
Self. So I end up with 14. Okay? So, how many sides?
14.
Yep, that's it. Got it? That's number 1. Now, it's not the exact number, right? But, I mean, it's the same time. Okay, here we go. Number 2. Okay?
No, we're on 1.
That was 1. This is 2.
Okay.
Okay? This is 1. This is 2. Let's go 6x, 2x, and let's go 88, and let's go 68, and let's go 32. Okay? All right.
6x, 2x.
Let's try that. Sorry, this isn't very good. Let me write this better. 68. Okay? All right. Now what?
You make it equal to 360.
Yeah, this one is what type of angles?
360.
Exterior. That's key. Pay attention whether you're interior or exterior. Because we're doing the sum of the exterior, no matter what the polygon is, doesn't matter that it had 5, didn't matter if it had 6, didn't matter if it had 8 sides, right? We don't care how many sides it has. All the exterior angles should add up to what? 360. That's all I do. Add them all together, set them equal to 360. 8x, 6x and 2x equals, or plus, sorry, plus what? 32, 68, 88.
188.
188 equals what?
360.
360. Now I solve it. Subtract what?
188.
188.
You get 172.
172. 8x. Divide by 8.
21.5.
X is 21.5 degrees. Or, well, I
No,
shouldn't
not
say
degrees.
Just 21.5. Now, pay attention because sometimes on these, it will say, what's the value of X? That's my answer, right? Sometimes it'll say, hey, this is angle A. What's angle A? It's not that hard. You just have to what? Plug it in. So pay attention to what the question asks, okay? It may say, hey, what's angle A? Then you just double that. But it might ask just for X. You see what I mean? Depending on which test you get. So that's number what? 2. Okay? 3, 4, 5, and 6 deal with regular.
Wait, so you were doing all of these?
3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm just going to do one like it, right? But
Yeah.
these are all the same type. They just deal with regular polygons. Okay? Regular polygons. That's key. What does regular mean?
They all have the same size.
Each angle is the same measure. Each side is the same length. Everybody got it? So you might want to have that in your notes if you don't already. Regular means each side is the same measure or length, and each angle is the same measure. Okay, so each side is the same length, each angle is the same measure. So it'll say something like this. Okay, we have an exterior angle. All of them are exterior. Exterior angle measure, one exterior angle measure is 15 degrees. Okay? How many sides does the polygon have? One exterior angle measure is 15 degrees. How many sides does the polygon have? Well, this is actually pretty easy. I just set it up by
24.
saying 15 what? S. How come I'm doing S?
Side.
Yeah, it's just number, think about it, number of angles or number of sides. You can put an A. Let's put an A so that you don't get confused here. So 15, each angle, right, is 15. How many angles do I have? I have 8 angles on the outside, right? I don't know how many I have. But I have 8 angles. Each one of them is what? 15. Can you see why I wrote 15A?
Yes.
Equals what?
360.
360, because it's an exterior angle. So every one of these is going to equal what? 360, and then I just solve for how many angles or how many sides it has. So I divide by what?
15. You get
And
24.
that gives you what?
24.
So there's 24 sides. Or angles, doesn't matter. So those are easy too. You with me? Like I said, the very first of this is super easy. That's 3 through what? 6. Okay? All right. You have a regular watch face. Let's say it's an octagon. This one's not an octagon, but let's say it was an octagon, okay? So you have a regular watch face, and it's an octagon, okay? 8 sides, right? I don't even need to draw all 8. I just know it's got 8 sides. It's actually going to look something like this. I think that's 8. Check me.
Yeah.
Is that 8 sides?
Just 3, 3, and 2.
Yeah, 3, 3, 2. Yeah, it should be 8. Okay, and it's going to say, hey, we got a regular octagon here. What's the measure of each interior and exterior angle?
Oh, that's easy.
It seems like, holy cow, they didn't give me anything, right? But they really gave you everything you know. You need to know how many sides do I have? How many angles do I have? 8. It's easiest to find what first, by the way? Always easiest to find exterior first. So you're just going to write 8, A, for the angle measure, right? Equals what? 360, only this time the A will actually equal the angle measure, not the number of sides, right? Or number of angles. I divide by 8, and each angle measure should be on the outside. Should be
45.
what?
45.
45 is the exteriors. What's the interiors?
135.
How'd you get it?
1080 divided by 8.
Yeah, just take 180 minus 45. That's all you should do. Okay, because think about this. Just think, watch me here. This is 45, you with me? Well, what's this got to be? Creates a straight line, so just take 180 minus what?
Couldn't you just use that
45.
chart that you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that too.
That's what I use.
You could do that too. But to me, I would just find the exterior and subtract it from what? 180. To me, that's easier. Just always find the exterior And then what? Subtract it from 180 and it'll be the what? Interior, so long as it's what type of a polygon?
A regular.
Regular. If it's not regular, it doesn't work that way. But if it's regular, it works this way. That's why these were all so easy, right? Is because that wasn't hard to figure out. This isn't going to be hard either because it's regular. You see what I mean? So this is 135.
That's just 7, right?
That was 7, yep. Flipping it over. Like I said, this is an easy test. Ooh, we have a constellation.
Wait, was that 7?
Yes.
That was 7. Oh, sorry, I erased it, but it was,
No.
it's super easy. I just thought we didn't really need it that long. Okay. Next one is a constellation. Okay. So let's do this constellation. Just 1 second. I got to do this on the calculator so it comes out good. Okay. All right. So let's say I have this constellation. This isn't very good, sorry. There we go.
How many sides is that?
So it'll look like this, something like this. Of course, it's not going to have that number of sides. I did that because I just did it on my calculator, so I knew what I was going to do. Okay? How many sides is it? That's the first thing you want to do is count how many sides. So it's going to be like a star background. So there's like a star here. If you guys don't know what constellations are, some of you are like, what the heck is he talking about? Constellations are like star-looking things, right? So like Orion's belt, things like that. So here's a constellation. It has these stars set up and it forms this figure. And you're like, okay, that's cool. Okay? And all of a sudden it says, all right, the following angles exist. This is 135. This one is 145. And this one is 150. And this one is 140, and this one is X, and this one is X, okay, and actually let's say this one is X, this one is 2X, and that is 2X, okay, something like that. Okay, so those look twice as big as that other one to me. Okay, and it just says, hey, what are the missing angles? What's the missing angles? So what do I set it equal to? Now here we have what? Interior. Do not set it equal to what? 360. That's where kids mess up. They get so used to doing exterior that they end up setting everything equal to what? 360. Realize this is interior. Can't do 360. I got to do n minus 2.
900.
Which is how many sides?
7.
7 minus 2 is?
5.
5. 5 times 180 is?
900.
900. That's the key. Does everybody understand how I got the 900? Yeah. Took the number of sides minus 2 times 180. Okay? That's how you do interior angles. So that's how I got that. I had 5 times 180. That gave me that. Now I add up all the other stuff. What do I get on the other stuff? Well, how many x's? 5x plus what?
570.
I didn't even know what all those added to. What was it?
570.
570 minus what? 570. And that gives me, somebody help me, I don't know what that is. 900 minus
330.
330. 5x, divide by 5.
66.
66.
Yep.
Okay, so that means this angle is what? 66.
66.
What are these angles?
132.
132 and 131. 2. That's simple. Okay, that's number what? 8.
9.
Okay. Here's an interesting one. Okay. Find the number of sides of a regular polygon so that each interior angle measures 3 times the exterior angle. Okay, kind of weird, but this is what it's saying. Find the number of sides of a regular polygon whose interior angles will be 3 times the exterior angle. Okay? So what are you thinking?
Look at my chart and do some dividing.
Add or subtract.
Well, I've got 3x plus 4x, or no, sorry,
Totally lost the question.
plus x. Watch, here's what I'm doing. That's it. I don't really know how many sides, but I know what an exterior and interior look like, right? This is going to keep going around. We're going to have interior, right? I don't care. But what is this one? It's x, and this one is? Well, what does that equal?
4x. 180.
Okay, what's x? That's all I got to do.
45.
Okay, so this one sounded tricky, right? But it really wasn't as tricky as it looked. Just think about it. If you know one of the if I know the exterior angle is x, and the other one is 3 times x, then together they must add up to what?
180.
4x equals 180. And then I divide by 4, and I'll know the exterior. What is it?
45.
45, and then I can tell the number of sides. Now what do? 45, and you can put S or A. Like I said, I don't really care. 45S has to equal what? What does all the exterior angles have to equal? 360. Divide by what? 45, and that'll be the number of sides. How many sides are there? Somebody do that on a calculator. 360 divided by 45.
8.
8 sides? Okay. So this is a regular octagon that we're talking about. Kind of cool, huh? Does it have to be 3 times? Could it be 4 times? Could it be 5 times? Could be anything, right? I don't care. But just think of it written this way. Think about just making a straight line on one of those exterior. The exterior angle, let me say that again because that's what throws kids off. The exterior angle and the interior angle can be compared because the interior angle is 3 times the exterior. 3 times the exterior. But those two together added still have to be what? 180 every time. Okay? Now, will you have 3x and x? No, I could do 4, I could do 5, I could do, you know what I mean? I could do anything I want, and it'll work. Okay, so, because the coolest part about this is 360 is divisible by a heck of a lot of numbers. If you factor tree that thing down, there's a ton of numbers that multiply into 360. So, almost anything I pick will work, so. Okay, here we go. Number 10, are you freaking kidding me?
Right.
I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't even do it.
No, I love when you say that.
I shouldn't even do this one. It's ridiculous.
When you say that, makes me feel bad.
I'm serious. I honestly shouldn't do this one. It's a parallelogram.
Oh, okay.
Solve for x and y.
Well,
Okay, I'm done. I'm not doing it. But I'll just show you what the problem looks like. Everybody can do that, right?
yeah.
What's the key thing you got to know?
Oh.
Opposite sides are what? Equal. That's all you got to know.
That's actually.
It's super. That's what I said. This is ridiculous. Okay. Ooh, here's one of the harder ones. Okay. 3 vertices are given for a parallelogram. 3 vertices are given for a parallelogram. Find the 4th vertice. 3 vertices are given for a parallelogram. Find the 4th vertice. Okay. Let's see what we get here. So let's start with 6. Oh no. Let's start with this. Let's start with 4, 6. Sorry, I put the 6 first. 4, 6. Negative 10. 4. And 12, 12. Okay. Find the missing vertice. So I'm going to graph it first so I can see what it looks like. You really don't have to graph it. You'll see why in a minute that you don't have to graph it. But let's graph it to start with. I'm going to go over what? Up. Make sure you do those in order. I have kids who mess that up, believe it or not. They do the X when they should be doing the Y, and the Y when the X. Make sure that's 4. And mark it. When you put it on there, say, hey, that's 4, 6. Because otherwise you're going to lose track as you do it. So say, hey, that's 4, 6. Negative 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's negative 10, 4. Now, by the way, you can have more than one answer on this one. And what? 12, 12. We're going to go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, 12's right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this 4, 6 over here. And this negative 10, 4 over here. And this isn't as hard as it looks.
It's
Okay.
negative 210.
Now, where could I put my point? Just generally speaking. Give me a general area where I could put my point. I would be thinking up in here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is anyone thinking anywhere else differently? Anyone thinking anywhere else? Okay, good. That's the only place I can see it. Some people will see like a different point of view. I don't know how, but anyways, I can see it kind of up in here, right? I don't know exactly the point, but I can figure it super easy, by the way. Just count how far up and what. Over, I'm going from here to there. And that should match up here, going backwards, over and down, right? So it's the same thing, just the opposite direction.
I do
So, that's how I would do it.
I do
So-
from that point to that point.
And that's
from that
fine, you
point
can
to
do
that.
it from this
Yeah.
point to this point, and then this point to this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It doesn't matter, right? Just pick 2 points on one side, and then the opposite side will be the opposite. So if you think about this, how far up do you go from 4 to 6?
2.
And how far over do you go? Negative 10 to 4. 14, right? So I'm thinking I've got to go back what? Where's that going to put you?
Negative 2.
Negative 2, so I've already got the x coordinate is negative 2,
And 10.
because I went back 14. And then I've got to go what?
Down
Instead of up 2, I got to go what?
Down 2.
Down 2, so instead of 12, I'm going to be at what?
10.
10. So the easiest way to do this one, honestly, is graphing.
Yeah, it's not.
And then, boom, I know that this will be a what? Parallelogram. I should probably draw it. So this isn't really part of the parallelogram. That was just me figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
So that really doesn't count. And this doesn't really count as the parallelogram. But that's parallelogram. And that's the point that would complete the parallelogram. So is it very hard? No. It's a coordinate one, but it's seriously not that hard. Just do the slope. And just like Megan said, could I have went from this point to this point? Yeah, I could have went left and down, and then from here I would have went what? Up and over. Just got to do the opposite. But in vision, I'm telling you, some people get confused and they end up with a point like down in here or something. So you've got to kind of envision where the point should be. Yeah, but where you're figuring you're going to end up with. Otherwise, you'll start messing up the over and ups a little bit.
Yeah, the one like this on the assignment, I definitely thought it was a trapezoid at first.
Yes,
I thought we were supposed to be
because
making a
honestly,
trapezoid.
if you went over and up,
Yeah.
you wouldn't end up with a what?
Trapezoid.
Parallelogram, you'd end up with a more of a trapezoid or a kite or something weird, right? And so if you mess up your direction, you got to kind of envision what it should look like and then make sure it looks like a parallelogram after you draw it. Because it is easy to make that mistake of going over and up because you went up and over, you see what I mean? And you'll think, oh, I just go over and up. No. If you go up and over, you've got to go backwards and down. You got to do exactly the opposite. Everybody with me on that? Got to do the opposite or you'll mess up. Okay, that was number 11.
No, that was 11.
That was 11. 10 was the super easy one that I didn't do.
Yeah.
So I just didn't do 10 because I was like, that's stupid. Okay, here's kind of a tough one. Now, this one only tells you it's a parallelogram. This is the most missed one on the test. I will tell you that. And it's because they think it's a rhombus because it kind of looks like a what?
Rhombus.
It looks kind of like a rhombus, but all it tells you it's a what? Parallelogram. Is there a huge difference between a rhombus and a parallelogram when it comes to angles? Yes, because a rhombus always meets at what type of angles?
Right.
90-degree angles. And a rhombus bisects the opposite what? Angles. But a parallelogram does not. Okay, that's something I would have in my notes, by the way. In a rhombus, and you should already kind of have it in your notes, but make sure it's there. In a rhombus, the diagonals meet at right angles. That's true. Okay, in a rhombus, that's true. Okay, the diagonals meet at right angles. Make sure that's in your notes. And the diagonals bisect each angle. And the diagonals bisect each angle in a rhombus. That isn't true in a what? Parallelogram. Okay, that isn't true in a parallelogram. So that's why this is the most missed question. Okay, So let's just throw one out here. So I'm going to throw this down. I'm going to give you the same information that they're given on there. So it's just a what? Is this a rhombus necessarily?
No.
No, not necessarily a rhombus. Almost it looks like those meet, and that's what throws people off, is they just see it and they don't read the directions, okay? It's going to say, hey, it's a parallelogram, but it's going to look almost like a what? Rhombus. It's not quite, honestly. These are just a titch longer, okay? But it'll say something like this, and it'll say something like it. So it'll say, hey, this is 20, this is 24. I'm giving you the same things it's giving here. It's going to say this length right here is 10, and this length right here is 16, and then it's going to say, hey, this angle right here is let's go with 62, and it's going to say this angle right here is 85, and then it's going to ask questions.
Wait, what is the one on top?
Okay.
62.
80. Oh, wait, it gives you one more. Sorry. It also says this angle down here is 40. Okay? No, it doesn't. Never mind. Never mind. I think that's all it gives you. Okay. Okay, what? Fill out the whole picture. Okay, can you fill out the whole picture? I don't know if you can or not, but that's the information it's going to give you, so I'm hoping you can fill out the whole picture.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
I don't know that you can,
Is
but
it
we're going to try.
parallelogram?
Yes.
It's a parallelogram,
Oh,
Okay, so
but I'm
yeah.
still not sure that you can fill out the whole picture without some more information. AD. Oh, I do need some more information. Sorry, it does give you this little angle. I'm like, I need one more angle over here. But it doesn't
Yeah.
give you that one, it gives you this one. I was doing the wrong one. So let's say this is 28. Okay, let's call that one 28. Okay, now you should be okay. Now you should be able to do it. That was kind of my fault. Okay, let's see if you can do it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, first of all, let's fill in everything from here on out. I think that's all you needed was one more angle to
Yeah.
be able to do it. Okay, so what's this side length, or what's this length right here?
16.
Let's do all the lengths first because they're easiest. What's this?
10.
10. They do bisect each other, so that's true. We just don't know that it's a 90-degree angle. Obviously,
Your
it's not.
16 looks like a 10. That was kind of.
Oh, sorry. 16. Sorry, I'm trying to write little because I got to have more space in there. And then this side is what?
24.
24. This side is 20. That's all the side lengths, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now on the test, I'm telling you, it might say, hey, what's the length of AB? Be careful that you answer the question, right? So AB is what? 32. So pay attention to what the question's asking. Don't simply look at the picture and just say, oh, well, I know all these lengths. You do, but you need to pay attention to what it's asking. What's this angle down here?
Is it
62.
62. What's this angle up here?
28.
What's this angle right here?
85?
85.
85. What's this angle right here?
85.
Nope.
Or no. What were you pointing to?
It's the
Oh, yeah.
supplementary and 85, right?
95.
95. What's this angle right here?
95.
Now, what's this angle?
It's the
152. Or no.
Take 95 plus what? 28
Oh, wait.
and subtract it from what?
57.
180. Okay, and I get what?
57.
Now, some of you did this angle.
wait.
Do 85 plus 62, subtract it from 180, and what do you get? 85 plus 62,
33.
subtract it from 180, what'd you get?
33.
33. Now can you fill in the rest?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's go over that part again, okay? Because you got confused
Triangles
here.
equal 180.
Okay, so the sum of any triangle equals what?
Oh, yeah.
180. So I have 95 and 28. I don't know this one.
Yeah.
So I just add those two,
And
subtract
minus
from 180. That's how I got it.
Okay.
Same thing up here, but those triangles aren't congruent.
Okay.
This top triangle is congruent to the what?
The bottom
bottom one, and the left one is congruent to the what? Right one, but they're not congruent to each other. Like all 4 triangles aren't congruent. You with me on that? So that's why I got to find each one individually. So that's 57. By the way, what's this? 57. If this is 33, what's this? 33. And again, if we had, say, C and D here, it'll probably ask us something like angle CAD. What does that equal? What does CAD equal?
50, 60,
61, right? So you just add them together. So pay attention to what it's asking. But can you fill out that whole picture? Yes. I will tell you the biggest mistakes made. Let's erase some of this, and I'll show you where mistakes are made. Okay? And this is where I see on every test that people take. Okay? They do great on the sides. That's not a problem. But guess what they do right here? They'll go, oh, that's 62. Why do they make that mistake? They think it's an angle bisector. That's only true if it's a what? Rhombus. This doesn't say it's a rhombus. It says it's just a what? Parallelogram. That's where the mistake's going to be. People are going to say, hey, this is 20 what? 8. Is that true? No. Okay? So be careful. Okay? On those. Be careful on those not to assume that. Okay? Because you will get in trouble if you assume that. Okay. That was numbers 12 through 15. So they'll make you do that picture, right? And then they'll ask you 3 questions, 12, 13, 14, 15, 4 questions, 12, 13, 14, 15. They'll ask you 4 questions about that picture, right? Different angles, different sides. You see what I'm saying? So because they'll say, hey, what's the measure of this? What's the measure of this? What's the measure of that? That's all it's going to do. But it's all referring to this same what? Same picture that we just filled out. So just fill out the picture and then answer the questions. Okay? 16. Seriously? You gotta be kidding me.
It's my favorite.
How many questions are there?
Can you say?
Oh, this one's a little bit harder. It's the same as this. It's there's, I don't know, 20, a lot, 27. It's because it's so easy that I just put a bunch of questions on there. And it's not really that hard. Okay, this one's gonna say something like this. It's gonna have like 3y plus 7. And then it's going to have,
This is 16.
this is going to be like 4x minus 17. And now I got to think here for a second because my brain has to work and I hate it when that happens. I got 14, I got 7.
We all
And then I got, wait, I'm going to go 3y plus 6 there. And now I'm going to go 4x
4x.
plus, I'm going to go 4, that's what makes this one a little bit harder. 4x plus, wait, I got to do the math here. 2, okay. Solve for x and y. Now, there is an order to this one, okay? What variable should I solve for first?
X.
X. Okay, you don't want to solve for y first. How come? Because what
you
would I have to
can't.
set y equal to? Some value of x. Do I
Yeah.
know the x?
No.
Do you know the y?
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to be able to solve it then, right? So you've got to find the x first. Can I find the x though?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't use these two sides. Use these two sides first. Okay? Then solve for x, plug it in, and then solve for what? Y. So there has to be an order to this one. Really, it's the same as the one that was super easy, right? It's just that you've got to do it in order. You got to do the x first, then the y. So I end up with 4x minus 17 equals 2x minus 3. I subtract 2x. That's 2x. I add 17. That's 14. I divide by 2. And I get 7. Am I done?
No.
Got to do y. So I got to put in the 7 right there. 7 times 4 is, plus 2 is
It's 30.
30. So now I say 3y plus 6 equals what?
30.
30. Now subtract 6 and divide by 3.
Y equals 8.
And I get y is 8. Okay? So, not super hard, but there is an order to it. You with me on that? A lot of kids are going to get frustrated. They're going to go, oh, okay, 3y plus 6 equals 4x plus, wait, I don't know y. I don't know x. I can't do this. I'm going to quit. I'm going to just cry. I'm just going to sit here and cry. I'm not going to do any more of my tests. Don't do that.
Actually, no. I just asked Tom for help. He'd probably help you.
It's really not. But it's weird because it's like your brain is just drawn to one thing and then you're just like, I don't know how to do it. I give up. But look at the other options, right? There's more than one option there. So no, there's not.
Yeah, quit.
See, we gotta have our minds a little bit more open. Okay.
No.
Oh, this is a cool question.
Sorry.
We're all gonna get buddy body.
All right.
This is all just- Are you alive? Hello.
What question is this?
17.
It's a lot like the last question we just did, by the way.
It's 17.
Wait, this is 17?
I think so. He won't answer me.
Yeah, this is 7.
Measure of angle.
Yeah.
It's C.
Oh, wait.
Is that 17 raised to the third, or is that just?
No, that's just something he hasn't raised.
How was that going?
He can't hear us right now, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to do math in my head. It's scary.
I would not want to be in your head, Tom.
Yeah.
That sounds
Nobody
terrifying.
wants to be there. Let me think here. That'll work. There we go. I don't need to add anything. so we're good. That'll work. Okay. Solve for x and y if
You okay?
There's no Y.
A, B, C, D is a parallelogram. Now, I will say this. Does the order matter? Yes. Okay? Because it's not going to be drawn for you. That's what's hard about what? 17. Okay? 17 is not going to be drawn for you. So that's why it's hard. So you have to pay attention to the what? The order of the letters. That matters. Okay? What should I set equal to what then?
Set them on there, man.
Tell me what I should set equal to what? Go ahead, Creek. A to C. Okay? You got to think about, I could draw it out if I wanted to just for myself. Wherever I start A, does it matter where I start A? Does it matter?
No.
No, it's just going to go clockwise from A. So I don't care where I start A. Start it down here, I don't care. B, C, D. I could start it right here. I just have to go clockwise from wherever I started, right? I don't care where I
So
start.
why wouldn't you do AB and CD instead of AC, BD?
So how come I set A equal to C?
Because they're opposite.
They're opposite angles, and that is what I know is
We're
congruent
talking
in
about
a what?
angles, not lines.
Parallelogram. So that's the important part. I'm given what? Angles. So does order matter on this one? Yes, and you might want to write that in your notes. On 17, pay attention to the order. Everybody with me on that? The way you're going to miss this is you won't be paying attention to the order. Because that tells you what to set equal. A lot of kids are going to say, hey, I'm just going to set these two equal. They both have x's in them. Can I set those two equal to each other? No. Okay? Make sure that you think about the order and which angles are opposite. So I've got to set A equal to what? C. That's how you're going to miss it. Is you're going to hit set like C equal to D or something to solve for x? Don't. Okay? You've got to pay attention to the order and the order of these to set things equal and then solve. So I'm going to set those two equal and solve for x. Then I'm going to plug it in and solve for what? Y. Set the other two equal. So these two are also equal. But that won't do me any good right now because I have an x and a y. You with me? I got to solve for x before I can solve for y. So that's why I said it's kind of similar to the last one. So do it really quick. What do you got? 3x plus 7 equals x plus 17. Subtract the x, minus 7. Sorry, I'm going really fast here because the math isn't that important. It's how you set it up. And then I end up with 10 divided by 2. X is what? 5. Plug it into the other equation. 4y plus 9 equals 5 times 5 is 25. Everybody with me on how I got the 25?
Yes.
Yes. Subtract the 9.
4y equals 16.
4y equals 16 divided by 4. Y is what? 4. Okay? So not super hard. But, got to pay attention to the what? Order. And it's not going to be drawn out for you. You got to think a little bit, okay? She's going to say, hey, it's a parallelogram. ABCD is the parallelogram. Here's the angle measures. And without it being drawn out, a lot of kids miss it. They don't think about which angles are opposite. Like Derek did, right? Derek said, hey, it's A and C and D and D. You got to think that. You got to think, hey, what angles are opposite? Okay? Because that's really what the test is all about, is what to set equal. Like I said, I don't spend a lot of time. That's what's cool about teaching honors, is I don't have to spend a lot of time on actually solving the equations. I know you can solve an equation. It's the setup of the equation we're really testing. So that's a lot nice. It's nicer for the teacher, because we don't have to just, I mean, I could take way more time trying to figure out how to do the equation, but the equation's easy. Okay, next one. If I give you the vertices, can you show me it's a parallelogram?
Yes.
What's the easiest way to do that? 2 sets of slopes. Okay, so I'm not going to do that one. Is that okay with everybody? I give you the vertices, like dun 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 dun. All I have to do is show that this slope is the same as what? This slope and this slope is the same as what? That slope. That would be the easiest way. Okay? It doesn't matter what the vertices are, but.
Write down the distance formula because I know my mind's going to go blank as soon as I need that.
Yeah. So I never do the distance formula. I always do Pythagorean theorem, but it's really just subtracted y's squared plus the subtracted, and maybe this is x's first. I really don't know. I don't care. It all ends up the same. And then square rooted equals the distance. I don't know what goes first because I never use the distance formula. I always just do Pythagorean theorem in my brain. So I've never memorized it.
Yeah, to find the slope. Or
But,
not to find the slope.
you can use distance formula to find the length, and you will need this anyway when we do the mid segments.
Yeah.
Okay, but really you're just doing slope. Let's write that down. Slope is what I would have done on that last one, and it's just the y's subtracted over the what? X's subtracted. Slope and distance are related, by the way.
Yeah,
You just add and square root on the distance, and here you just put the y's
Why
over
did
the
they
x's.
say that the y2 or x2 are just like?
It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't, but why did they write
Oh,
that?
sorry, I should have done that on the bottom. This has got to be what? X2 minus x1. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I always just say the subtracted y's over the subtracted what? X's. If you ever hear me say it, I never say y1, y2 and all that. I never mention the formulas. I just say subtracted y's over subtracted what? X's. Because I really don't care the order.
I think it's because you can't flip them like.
Right. You need to start, if you start with this y, you have to start with this what? X. That's the only thing you have to pay attention to.
Chrissy told us something
Okay.
about it. I don't remember though.
The only thing that matters is that you start with the same point. So if you do the y's on top subtracted, you got to start with the same x point value on the bottom. That's the only reason that they write it with the x2s and y1s and all that. Okay. 19.
Right?
Yes.
We've got 2 minutes, Tom.
Why? Well, if we don't get through it, I'll just, because this is a short class.
Yeah.
Fridays are, but that's okay. All right, 19, kind of cool. Okay, it says you have a luggage stand, and so have you ever been to like have you ever been to a hotel? And then it has these little slat things on the top. You with me?
Yeah.
And then you can throw your luggage on top of that. That's what a luggage stand is. If you've ever been to a hotel. Okay, so we have this luggage stand, and it says, why is this always parallel to the ground? What figure is A, B, C, D for sure?
Rectangle.
Well, AC would have to be congruent to what?
BD.
DB. That's explaining why it's going to be parallel to the ground.
Like by M.
The diagonals have to be equal to each other. Well, if that's the case, what figure always has diagonals equal to each other?
Rectangle.
Look it up. It's rectangle, right? Make sure that's in your notes. The diagonals have to be equal to each other. If the diagonals are equal to each other, it has to be a what? Rectangle. Does it have to be a square necessarily?
No.
A lot of them look square, but they don't have to be a square. It has to be a rectangle, though. It could be a little lower, right, and have wider legs or whatever, but it's got to be a rectangle. Could have it a little taller and the legs be here, but it's still got to be what? A rectangle. You got me? Doesn't matter. So that's kind of the key there. Oh, this one's cool.
We think we should just stop.
I want to do the stretcher, though.
We have less than 30 seconds.
Okay, fine. Remind me I'm on the stretcher.